In a big, bright city full of tall buildings, fast cars and glowing lights, there lived a man named Kofi Mensa. Everyone in the city knew his name. He owned three big companies. He had workers who wore suits, carried tablets and called him Sir. He had three cars, one white, one black, and one silver. He lived in a tall house made of glass and marble. His kitchen was always full, his closets were always full, but his heart empty. Kofi had no wife, no children, and no one to sit with when the night grew quiet. When he was younger, he thought money would make him happy. And for a while it did. He traveled to many countries. He wore expensive watches. He was invited to big parties. People smiled at him, shook his hand, and called him important names. But over time, Kofi began to notice something. People smiled when he paid for things. They laughed at his jokes when he paid the bill. But when he was tired or sick, they didn't come. When he was quiet, no one listened. One night after a long day of meetings, Kofi sat alone in his huge dining room. His plate was full, but he didn't feel hungry. He looked at the empty chairs. He whispered to himself, "Is this what I worked so hard for?" Then he did something strange. He got up from the table, walked to the window, and looked out over the city. The lights sparkled like stars below him. But the more he looked, the more he remembered something. He remembered his village, a small, dusty place with narrow paths and wooden doors. No cars, no supermarkets, but full of people who laughed without reason and helped without asking. He had left that village many years ago with nothing but a bag and a dream. He had promised himself he would return someday, a successful man. He had become successful, but he had never gone back. Now he was tired of city life. He didn't want another business meeting or another party. What he wanted more than anything was to find someone who loved him not because of his wealth, but because of his heart. That night, Kofi made a decision. He walked to his closet, took out an old leather bag, and filled it with simple clothes. He left his gold watch behind. He left his shiny shoes behind. He packed only what a poor man would carry. Then he wrote a letter to his workers. "I will be away for some time. Handle things without me. Do not call unless there is fire or flood." He smiled and placed the letter on his desk. The next morning, Kofi left the city quietly. No one knew where he was going. A long journey through winding roads. Past hills and rivers, he arrived